It's like a Street Fighter KO sound. Hello friends and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise, swearsies, it's just a fact, and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up, if you want. Today we're jumping back into r/NeckbeardStories, maybe it's Tales of Neckbeards, I can't really recall, because actually it comes from my personal subreddit r/ReddX Reads, and it is from user RoamingRivers, who has been somewhat of a common face around here. He's written a couple of stories in the past. There was that Tale of Three Beards, there was Booger Beard, and there was also the Neckbeard customer rages in the middle of a movie theater. All of these sort of separate, but I'm going to stick them all in the description anyways. Maybe a little line between them so you can differentiate which saga is which. Booger Beard's a one-off. The Tale of Two Kevins or whatever that kind of got smushed in with the Neckbeard customer. It was supposed to be a one-off, but I guess everybody enjoyed it enough that he had to come on back and bring us some more. So we've got that. We've also got somewhat of a one-off. So, I mean, is this a one-off episode? I'm not really sure. Half of it is? Somebody do the math on that. I guess we're just going to roll through it, see how it goes. Fingers crossed. So we'll get some plugs and disclaimers out of the way, and then we will dive right into some of this NeckbeardStories cringe. Hey, I haven't told you in a little bit that you should check out my podcast pages. Them links is in the description. But this is A Lazy Neckbeard and Two Kevins Part 2, A Tale from Retail. Yes, this is the one I was talking about. Part 1 is in the description if you missed it. Also, click on the podcast links while you're down there. God, I'm a whore. Okay. Hello, ReddX. Hi, RoamingRivers. Glad to see that the story of those three nitwits was well received by you and my fellow subscribers. Yeah, Kevins are always silly. Today I'll be bringing you a few short stories about that bearded cat in the hat and his very own Thing 1 and Thing 2, as well as the events that led to their own, albeit separate, downfalls. Oh yes, some beard justice, that's what I'm waiting for. But first, a quick recap of the cast. We've got ROP, RoamingRivers, a hardworking employee whose patience is growing thin being a babysitter for these three supposedly grown-ass men. Yeah, you trying to hold down a job? It'd go a lot better if you had to pay rent or something. I'm pretty sure they're all living with mommy, ain't they? We've also got the staff and the management, the rest of the theater employees, and guess what? Their patience is also running thin with those same three nitwits. This job had a very high turnover rate, so it's hard to remember every single person, not gonna lie. Delibeard DB, that's our Neckbeard, a 30-something stoner who seems like he was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Lazy as hell, very poor at manipulation skills, and even worse at playing the victim. Obviously, nobody's told him that because he continues to try and do it. K1, dubbed Kyle by ReddX. Oh, a high school age drug dealer. Will do anything to avoid work. And we got K2, dubbed Kevin by ReddX. Yes, indeed. Kyle was school friend and a heavy drug user. During these events, found out that a coworker he had picked up doing pills and smoking crack, apparently. Also, recently became a flat earther. So, more on that later. Yeah, you gotta do a lot of drugs to become a flat earther.
Burning behind me is 8.5 tons of heroin, opium, hashish, and other narcotics.
I'm not trying to attack anybody for their stance, but come on. Come on. Oh, Kyle and Kevin. They're both Kevins. We just name them differently so I don't get confused. Or whoever's listening doesn't get confused. And so with the cast out of the way, we come to story number 1. Stealing food and sneaking away from work. which does happen if you're high, especially. By now, these three had earned themselves the ire of much of the rest of the staff. Except, the fellow stoners, I suppose. But probably even the responsible stoners are like, dude, you're making us look bad. Fucking get it together. Notably, they had a habit of sneaking off one by one while still on the clock, the height of their collective long-term planning, and getting high in the break room. Was that called, time clock theft or something like that? Getting paid to go get high? That's gotta be the best kind of smoke, doesn't it? I'm all for sticking it to the man, but they probably weren't in there for just 5-10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna take 30 minutes to go get high, go do it in the bathroom, not the employee break room. Just all get in the stall and be like, yeah, we're pooping together. This is normal. When they were all called out on this, they would just try to play dumb, which they were probably pretty good at. And they said that they needed several breaks throughout the day, even though it became a regular occurrence to have to basically drag them back to work. No one on staff had the sense to speak to management about this recurring issue, probably because we, the rest of the staff, abided by a no snitching policy, so they got away with this for about 2 months. I mean, on one hand, screw the management, but on the other hand, I want to get high too, dude. It's not cool that you can get high and I can't, but I still probably wouldn't snitch though. These three stooges also had a habit of stealing relatively small portions, which were meant for the customers, of food from the kitchen. Hence why they were able to get away with this for as long as they did. Again, the no snitching policy did not work in our favor with this issue. They got cursed at and threatened for being so unreliable, though looking back on it, we probably should have gotten management involved sooner. Yeah, get them fired, get them out of here. No snitching policy for everybody except the people who are abusing the no snitching policy. This seems like a sweet gig, dude. You go to work, get high, have some munchies, whatever. I would never leave that job, even if the pay probably does suck. But regardless, we continue on into story 2. Kyle doesn't know boundaries and gets popped in the nose. Fuck yeah, some violence! Kyle was known for having no semblance of boundaries, such as posting pictures and videos of his coworkers, mostly women, on his Instagram account. Oh, God. Just making a spectacle of yourself, right? Often with very lewd comments. One day when I, OP, was restocking napkins, a simple task that Kyle failed to do for over an hour that night, probably because he was getting high. I suddenly felt 2 hands on my shoulders, massaging me. As someone who has dealt with being abused as a kid, I've been around too many people who had no respect for boundaries, as well as having been in some highly toxic environments and institutions where being abused was a near constant threat. I obviously do not like being touched without my consent. I mean, I don't mind getting touched, but a massage is a little more than touching, isn't it? That is like some heavy touching, and I don't think anybody would be okay with that, particularly from a stranger / coworker who is basically a stranger. I instinctively shot back my elbow, feeling it connect with cartilage and bone, accompanied by a high-pitched "Oh!" It's like a Street Fighter KO sound. Blah, blah, blah. I turned on my heel to see Kyle clutching his nose in pain and begin to curse him out. "You don't put your hands on another man like that, you bitch!" I roared. Oh yeah, call him a little bitch. I love it. You ever been in an institution, boy? Oh, and a boy. You little bitch boy. Get him, OP. Fucking lay him out to dry. Is it hang him out to dry? Whatever. I was in pure survival mode at this point. A primal state of being. oblivious to the other guests nearby, who were now looking at me like I was insane, while Delibeard and Kevin tried to blubber off excuses for their friend, as I practically snarled at all three of them. Eventually, a manager who had observed the whole thing from afar stepped in. She sternly told me to calm down, before also sternly telling Kyle to keep his nasty hands to himself. Don't nobody want your little greasy grabbers all over the place? What's wrong with you, kid? Before anyone asks, no, I didn't break his nose. Unfortunate. Gotta hit harder next time. Though he did learn his lesson. For a while, at least. Surprisingly, I was not fired over this outburst. Likely because I was one of the few reliable employees who had lasted longer than a few months. Yeah, gotta love that turnover rate, which also equals job security if, you're actually competent and halfway enjoy the job. Story 3, Kevin and his flat earth claims. Oh God, not this, anything but this. A short tale, but worth mentioning in the Kevin shenanigans. Kevin had recently gotten obsessed with flat earth conspiracies. I can't even say it without laughing. It's just so dumb. If you're in the comments section that you believe in flat earth, don't comment, because all I'm going to do is laugh at you. Post it up in the Discord, and everybody's going to be like, oh my God, this guy actually exists. But I know a lot of flat earthers can't help themselves. I'm sure some will make themselves known. And similar to all of this, Kevin also tried intently to prove this theory to anyone that he spoke to. Be it employees or guests. God bless those poor guests. He tried proving this with various YouTube channels and PowerPoints, alien theories, and even physics charts that he kept saved on his phone. Boy, he's really going deep. I don't think the YouTube channels count as like proof positive or really anything that was listed, except the physics charts. I'd like to see what the physics charts entail. I could show it to my grandfather who worked for JPL until retirement. Be like, what's wrong with these charts? And he'll say, everything. I don't know who gave this to you, but it's trash. I even made an offer that if I have the money by the time I'm middle-aged, I would fund an expedition for him to test his flat earth theory, and that I would personally accompany him on that expedition. Oh God, giving up your sanity to prove this to one person. I mean, people believe what they believe. I don't think an expedition is going to change that. B.O.B. believes in flat earth theory, and, he's like a relatively big-time rapper. He probably flies around the world and stuff.
Is that the grand global conspiracy? Is that the Earth's flat?
Or not around the world, rather across the world, because the world ain't round. You see? Jesus Christ. You believe what you believe. But I reserve my right to not think much of you based on that belief. Story number 4. The nitwits look for pity from management / OP finally snaps. The punching in the nose wasn't the snapping? Oh, good. One day when I was collecting tickets, Delibeard came up to me asking what theaters he had to clean next, saying, it was my job to tell him what theaters he had to clean. Bro, he's helpless. I told him flat out that is not my station today. You have the schedule in your fucking pocket. Figure it out. While I also did have a schedule on me, it didn't have the theater numbers. This same conversation happened like 5 times in less than an hour because he's high. Further pissing me off to no end on an already busy work day. Eventually, there were no guests for a good half hour, so I tried calling management on my radio to see if I could go back to cleaning and restocking. As I was trying to talk to management, the radio kept cutting in and out. I heard giggling behind me to see Kyle purposely disrupting the signal with his own radio, giggling like an idiot along those other 2 nitwits. You gotta say over when you're done giggling. Over.
Wait a minute, I have to say over even if the sentence ends with the word over?
Ends with the word what, Brian? Over.
Oh, I see the wire.
You see the wire what? Over.
Over!
After that, I just snapped. Now, I do not have one mode of rage. When I flip out, it comes out in a variety of forms. The version that happened that day could be described as gotta do this shit myself, where I get real quiet and will aggressively do the given task that is the source of my anger, only stopping to briefly flip off and curse at the people that made me angry in the first place, accompanied with hitting some random objects. I think that's called extreme passive aggression. It's like the weakest form of anger. The healthy thing to do is have an open and clear conversation about what exactly the problem is. The thing that I would rather see is just a pummeling. Seems to work just as well. I honestly do some of my best work when I'm that pissed off, not gonna lie. I snatched Kyle's broom out of his hands and began to clean all of the theaters that they were too high to clean for nearly an hour. They followed me, saying stuff like, "What did we do?" and "Go back to your station," which I responded by cursing them out and kicking a trash can in anger. They then went to management, screeching that I had flipped out for no reason and was breaking stuff. I glared at them from across the floor as I, still enraged, got the proper theater numbers, only to see them pleading with everyone in the concession area, as all the staff and management looked at them in a collective, "Yeah, sure, that's what really happened," look of disgust. They got your number by now, boys. The jig is up. We've been rumbled. After I had burnt myself out and also cleaned many theaters, I turned myself over to management and gave a full statement. Management took my side on this matter, as this was only the latest in a long line of issues with those three, and all three of them were suspended without pay for a week, in addition to not being put on the same shifts with me from then on. Oh, hallelujah! Maybe passive aggression does work after all. Honestly, management was surprised that I had such an outburst. Though, while I was a hard worker, I was often a personable and chill guy to be around, according to staff and management. All in all, I got off scot-free and kept my job. I mean, you cut 3 knuckleheads and keep 1 golden goose. I think that's the right play to make. I don't usually back up management on much stuff, but that I can sign off on for sure. The downfall of the cat in the hat, and thing 1 and thing 2. Delibeard. I never saw him again after that incident. Easy, wash your hands. As he apparently got in trouble with the cops the very next week. Apparently, Delibeard had been stealing money from the theater for over 3 months, managing to steal over $3 grand from the registers. How? What? He wasn't suspended before? How? Again, management just... They made the right play in the story before, but now that's just like showcasing extreme incompetence. What? How did he do this, you might ask? Yes, I do. Well, he would come in on his days off, ask for a soda cup from the ticket selling area. We got free drinks as a part of the job. And when the employee would go into the back to get him a cup, he would just hop over the counter, open the register, and snatch money out of the drawer. That's the dumbest robbery ever.
Put the money in the bag! Put it in!
It wasn't traced back to him until management did an investigation, and he was caught on camera doing this multiple times. He apparently had a "so what" attitude when confronted about this, and he was given a choice. He could either A, pay back all the money, or B, the police could get involved. In his infinite wisdom, he chose the second option. Who would do that? That's a terrible choice. He's like, yeah, I might be going to jail for 6 months, but I got $3 grand when I get out. What are you going to do with that? Buy a used car? Like a low-end used car? Oh, man. That is stupid beyond stupid. He was mandated by the courts to pay back all the money he stole. And he was also put on probation. Jesus Christ, double whammy. Though, even after all that, he apparently decided to just skip town a month later and completely fell off the map. No one knows where he ended up, and I honestly don't care. He ended up nowhere good, I'll tell you that. You won't be seeing him in your state ever again, I'm pretty sure. Then again, he's pretty dumb. He might roll through, forget he has a warrant, something like that. Kyle got fired a month later for taking pictures of staff again. I saw him around town a few times, and he seemed to be doing well. Honestly, I hope he grows up in time before he ends up doing some hard time. Yeah, you can live a pretty good life if you're selling some substances, but eventually it's all going to come crashing down on your head. So I do hope that he gets out as well, gets his shit figured out. Out of the three, he does seem to be like relatively the most normal, even though he did try to give his coworker a massage for no reason.
That is the spot. You are good.
Oh boy. Kevin got fired around the same time as Kyle for trying to sell drugs at work again. Only this time he tried selling drugs to a customer. Oh God, it's so dumb. The police got involved, and I have no idea where Kevin is now. I do hope that he gets his life together as well before his brain is reduced to nothing but watery oatmeal. God, we might be too late. If the three of you are out there and reading or listening to this, Delibeard, wise up. You can only be an outlaw for so long before the law wins. Kyle, get out of the drug game while you can. Kevin, my offer still stands for the Flat Earth Theory expedition. Don't waste your money. Don't waste your sanity, OP. And with that, I hope that this two-part tale of a Neckbeard and two Kevins has hit the spot for y'all. And I'll be back with some more of that all-too-addictive cringe when I get the storytelling itch again. With that, peace. Ah, you love to see that all wrapped up with a nice little bow on top, don't you? Basically, exactly what I figured would happen to these people happened to these people. Karma is a bitch. Justice runs real fast. Don't bother trying to outrun it. Just face up, admit what you've done. Take it on the chin like a man. But obviously these three couldn't even hold down a job in a movie theater, so that's the first part of their manhood they gotta get figured out. How to provide for themselves without, illegal activity. It can be done. It's not easy. Not as easy as kicking back in your house and selling dope, but it can be done. Always follow your passions. Always angle yourself towards success. And even though these three are idiots, I do hope that they find success eventually. So thank you as always for sharing, OP. Maybe we'll compile these two parts together at some point. Like much further down the road, when people have kind of forgotten about it, couple months or so. That seems to be working for the compilations. But we got one more story to throw in here. Maybe as some incentive to watch the video that isn't a compilation of these two parts. That's a big brain play. That is called view maxing, I'm pretty sure. But I guess let's jump into it and see where we're at. Perverted Neckbeard gets his face rearranged. Was it Kyle? No, he didn't really get his face rearranged. He just got knocked in the nose. Just like a baby can handle that. I'm pretty sure you can punch a baby. But don't try it. Anyways, hello ReddX. Hi RoamingRivers. Today I will be presenting to you and my fellow subscribers a short tale about a neckbeard that I had the displeasure of knowing way back in high school. Oh, let's get in the TARDIS. Zoo, zoo, zoo. A beard who seems to have maxed out the perv and entitlement stats on his character sheet of beard qualities. I mean, those are both pretty bad. When stench is the least offensive stat. As usual, names, locations, and such have been kept as vague as possible in order to protect all parties involved. And now, our cast. OP, a scrawny, angsty high school junior with a fondness for edgy band t-shirts, graphic hoodies, ratty jeans, and Timberland boots. big time metalhead, went to a lot of concerts in those days, as well as had a budding interest in manga and internet culture, thanks to my then girlfriend at the time. Bricks, a longtime friend of mine, big into hip-hop, and an all-around jokester, prone to mood swings, namely due to his diabetes, as well as being built like a tank. Yeah, brick shithouse, I get that. He often wore basketball attire, hoodies, track shoes, and snapbacks. Also a junior in high school. I gave him the moniker Bricks because his punches felt like getting hit in the face with bricks. More on that later. Oh boy, I think the beard of the tale is going to find out firsthand. Some foreshadowing there. And speaking of the beard of our tale, here he is, Handsy Beard, HB for short. A tubby sophomore and a huge hip-hop fan. You don't like real hip-hop. I only like underground hip-hop. Yeah, like every other fucking white guy backpacker. Jedi mind tricks. Yeah, okay. I heard it all before, bro. He wore knockoff Jordans, snapbacks, as well as tried very hard to emulate hip-hop artists, both in clothing style and mannerisms. Oh, God. Please don't. All around entitled, would walk around the hallways blasting music on his phone, as well as in the middle of class, pissing off not only teachers, but also students. Would often respond to criticism by calling people ignorant, and talked about how he had to fight against discrimination. Also, he could not keep his hands to himself around female classmates. God, I'm hoping for some beardy fucking justice. Some bloody catharsis. Handsy Beard about to learn what these streets really like. You ask Ramtide about that. I have no idea personally. And now on to our tale. Story 1, Neckbeard comes to school. Now, prior to the events of the tale, we had all well known Handsy Beard around our school, as he had just been transferred into our school that fall semester. He didn't help himself in terms of becoming a part of the school's social circles, often purposely aggravating people with his aforementioned behavior, as well as making various, often perverted comments towards people, women in particular. Be it their sisters or their mothers, he would often talk about how hot people's various relatives and friends were, and he would try to flirt with the girls at school. This flirting often consisted of him shouting in public, "Hey, come over here, bitch, and have sex with me."
What?
How many times does that work? 0 out of 1 billion, I'd bet. It's terrible. Oh, God. He would then point to his knee. I don't think he knows where sex happens. All in all, yeah, he made himself a social pariah pretty fucking quickly. This brings us to the 2 weeks that led up to the beatdown. He had basically escalated his behavior before this, now outright grabbing girls' breasts and smacking them on the ass as he walked by them in the hallways. I'm surprised it took 2 weeks for this dude to get a beatdown. You should have fucking taught him this lesson day 1. Oh wait, wind that back. It seems like people tried to. For his antics, he got kicked in the balls and slapped in the face and scratched on the face, as well as, of course, reported to the principal. Every single time he was sent to the principal, he got off with a slap on the wrist, not even getting detention. That seems insane to me. Principals out here really just not giving a fuck. Oh, you sexually assaulted one of our students? Well, head on back to class. Don't do it again. Finger wag. What? After nearly 2 weeks of this happening repeatedly, a bunch of guys had gotten together to teach him a lesson. Yes, justice. I will say, I joined in on this cause because I was sick of Handsy Beard's attitude. Bricks joined in because his girlfriend was one of the girls that Handsy Beard fondled. Handsy Beard also made fun of Brick's diabetes, calling him a lesser man for needing insulin to live. Jesus Christ, dude. I hope he gets handled so hard. Well, the rest of this pack were made up of guys who wanted to teach this tubby perv a lesson, with a good portion of them having girlfriends or sisters who are currently being harassed by Hansybeard. Bro, how many people was it? This dude seriously is about to get his face rearranged. Like, no joke. Story 2, or part 2, I guess. The Beatdown. Hansybeard managed to avoid our pack for 3 days, managing to sneak his way home as we hunted him after school let out. Oh god, I love this. It's like a fox hunt. Except the fox is, big and fat and perverted. On the 3rd day, we cornered him in a park. I will say the group beatdown didn't go as planned, as navigating through a near foot of snow was difficult. Bricks, on the other hand, practically flew at Hansybeard as Hansybeard tried to waddle away, slide tackling him. The beatdown on Hansybeard was quick, vicious, and cold, pummeling his face into the frozen ground. It was over in less than a minute. Bruh, that's not enough time. I mean, was he knocked out, unconscious? Then you can get up, but if he's not knocked out, then keep it going. It only really ended because some random white woman called us out, trying to comfort the now crying Hansybeard as his face went bright red. Stay out of this, bitch, you don't know the whole story. He would assault you too if he had half the chance. She started screaming at us to stay where we are because she was calling the cops. Yeah, I'm gonna stay right here, Karen. Sure thing. We scattered, with Bricks hiding inside of a nearby church, while I ditched my hoodie and put on a beanie. Meeting up with my girlfriend, I walked home with her, looking over my shoulder, paranoid that the cops were gonna roll up on me at any minute. My girlfriend thought it was hilarious to say the least, seeing me all jittery. Not funny. I did this for you, it's not funny. I made it back to my girlfriend's house okay, and spent the afternoon hanging out with her in her basement before going home for dinner. The aftermath. In the days that followed, a full investigation was launched. Jesus Christ. You got this pervert assaulting people and you just slap him on the wrist, but he gets what's coming to him and now you've got a full investigation. Something hinky is going on here. Is the principal his mom or something? The school tried to make the beatdown a racial issue. Hansybeard was of South American heritage, specifically a light-skinned Latino, while me and Bricks were Irish American, and the rest of the beatdown pack were a mix of Italian guys, Hispanic guys, and one African American guy. Ah, yes, such a tragedy to see this gang of multicultural youths attacking someone of South American heritage. South America has suffered for too long. Okay then. Apparently, as a side note, he, Hansybeard, had cursed at and hit the woman who came to his aid after we fled from the scene. Told you. Though she didn't want to press charges against him, somehow still feeling sorry for him. Oh, maybe she wasn't a Karen after all. Just the good Samaritan, caught in the crossfire. Brick's father came into school, threatening the principal with a lawsuit if his son was kicked out of school, as well as making it clear that he would fight them tooth and nail if the cops got involved. My parents were pissed at me, despite me standing by while I participated in hunting down that little perv. They were convinced that it was purely a racial issue. Oh, God. You're buying into that media narrative, parents. Don't do it. It's deeper than that. Once the truth came out, they dropped the issue, never bringing up the topic again. Yeah, because they were fucking wrong. Make sure not to mention that time we were wrong. Hansybeard came back to school a few days later. Get the crew back together. With 2 campus safety officers by his side at all times. He was wearing his mother's makeup to cover the bruises. Adorable. Something that only made people laugh at him even further. This didn't sit well for his bruised ego, as he became snappy with everyone from there on out. Why wouldn't you just go to school with the bruises? The makeup is such a bad idea. Bruises can be badass. Makeup, it generally is not. In the end, the girls who Hansybeard had fondled all came forward, and the truth to why this beatdown happened was made known to all. The school decided to drop the issue, as they likely knew that it would be a PR nightmare that their inability to handle a serial groper led to the same groper getting his face beaten in. Yeah, just like the parents, I guess. Okay, we found the real cause, never mention it again. We realized we were wrong, but we're never going to bring it up. In short, a group of students took matters into their own hands when the school was doing nothing. Props to all of those boys fighting for justice. Hansybeard eventually transferred to a different school, and life went on. Both proms came and went. More school drama. Girlfriend and I broke up right after graduation. Me and Bricks went our separate ways as we both went off to college. I eventually did run into Hansybeard a year after graduation, as he began hanging around various stoop parties that I attended with a few friends in neighboring towns. He had gotten involved in some multi-level marketing scheme, selling kitchen knives. Oh, bro, Cutco almost got me too. I'm telling you, my mom was wise enough to explain what the hell it was, so I didn't fall for the trap. But when I was looking for like my first jobs out of the Navy, yeah, Cutco. Fuck Cutco. The entire time at these parties, as well as basically whenever I ran into Hansybeard at those social circles, he kept trying to sell me and everyone else kitchen knives. He would not pitch this sales pitch just once. He would do it multiple times over the course of a single evening. Sometimes in 15-minute increments, much to many people's frustration. Soon he drifted out of that circle as well, and I didn't see him again for over 6 years. Yeah, they kicked him out because they don't want to hear about these fucking kitchen knives anymore. He's like, look, you can cut an aluminum can. Please, I don't want to live in the streets. You deserve it, though. A year before the sniffles swept the globe. Ooh, edgy comment there. I ran into Hansybeard one day when running errands. He looked pretty strung out on something. A broken man with chipped up teeth and flaky skin. It looked like life had not been kind to him, though I'm uncertain as to what he is up to since high school. I sincerely hope that he isn't still going around fondling random women as a grown-ass man, and that he does eventually get his life together. Nah, fuck him. I wrote him off, honestly. As soon as he assaulted somebody, good. I'm glad he's miserable. I hope he dies in the streets. No cap, not even close to fucking joking. I hate Hansybeard. Some final notes. As much as we all enjoy seeing stories about perverts and neckbeards and other folks who don't respect boundaries getting justice dished out onto them, there is a part of me that does feel a tinge of remorse for playing a part in Hansybeard getting his face beaten in. Working through therapy as well as growing as a person, I kinda started to view Hansybeard with a little bit of pity these past few months. He seems more like a highly socially awkward kid who was living too much in some fantasy world, trying too hard to emulate what he saw in music videos and movies. This, and coupled with his parents lacking the financial resources because his dad was a janitor and his mom cleaned houses to get him some professional help, it just kinda seemed like a recipe for disaster. I don't say this to make excuses for him, as his behavior was still vile through and through. I just kinda wish that he maybe had some better support back then. Hansybeard, if you are out there and reading this, I hope that you've grown since then as a person, that you know how to respect boundaries, and I wish you a better life than what your school years were. Goddamn, OP always being the bigger person. As for me, I do not feel guilty at all. I would like to see Hansybeard get his fucking head beaten in every single day he even thought about groping somebody again. Although maybe the beating did work, you know. There were no more mentions of his perversion after the beating took place, although that might be because there were 2 security officers with him the entire time. But don't feel guilty about this, OP. He did it to himself, essentially. Could some therapy have helped? Okay, sure. But that is the principal's failing, not your own. You handled it in the best way that you could. And were I in the same situation, even as a 30-year-old man, we would definitely be throwing hands. OP does make some good points, you know, hoping that he gets his life together and stuff like that. But honestly, I'm on the side of you reap what you sow. You were a miserable person. You treated all these women at school like your little unwilling sex doll. Probably scarred them for life. And because you're on drugs now, I'm supposed to feel guilty about it? Now, fuck you, Handsy Beard. You deserved so much worse. And I am glad that you're miserable. Whew. But I hope that you guys can let me know in the comments, like, which side you fall onto. Does he deserve his shot at redemption, or is he beyond the pale? I'm sure that could spark some interesting conversations. I also hope that you'll like and or subscribe if you haven't already. I always appreciate that. Maybe share the video around if you should like. That is the real MVP play. We've also got plugs and playlists and podcasts that I mentioned at the beginning of the episode. Yeah, them podcasts down in the description. If you're looking for something different from the channel, maybe a little ReddX on the go, that would be pretty cool. We've also got my social medias, Twitter, Discord, Facebook. Oh yeah. Come on through, say hello, I would appreciate it. And of course, we've got my Patreon and my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous patrons. I'd like to thank them all Jerry much, as I do every video, so thank you.
Robert Waits, Baron Von Wagon Pants, Jarhead Jerry, Ooh, River Jerry, Captain Clown Jerry, Honk Honk. That's aggressive honking. Aaron W, Twisted Chow, Cinnamon Susie, For All Blank Sign. Fire Drake, Giggle Jerry, Latin, Limison loves Jerry, so does ReddX. Mr. Anime Manga Fan, Rogue, Silent Revolver, Sergeant Jelly Donut, Magdala Marsha Thorn Rose, Becca, Cherish Kitsune, Little Lone Wolf, Vanilla Mel, Satori, Althea Blue, Anunnaki, Asian Persuasion Jerry, yeah, Assassin Pug Jerry, Bang Bang, Grizzly, Bailey Joy, Bearded Jerry, watch out for that guy, Bitch Gremlin, Blade the Hero, Blameless Fish, Blip Bloop Jerry, Camille Sarah, Commander J Tank, Deltaroon Jerry, Dennis Dayton, Dinosaur Nightlight, Disposable Waifu, Aaron Lennox, Frozen Over Studios, Gypsy, Adrian BR, Heathcliff, Itchy Nuts, just scratching bro, a pimp named J Chris, JM Coon, Jennifer Schaefer, Jerry with the eye, that is a different Jerry, the original Jerry, Jerry Blacktail, Jerry T. Harapist, John Hero, Jolly Black Jerry, Simboofa, because if you're boofing, it's free, Jerry, tell it to the jury. Crewy, Lady Jerry Nix, Miss Monday, Lord Lino, Jackets Rule, Melgar the Destroyer, Mint, Jerry Chip, the freshest of the Jerrys. Mirthful Baker, my boy Natwin Nick, Natari, Nightmare Jerry, Origami Jerry, gotta fold them all, Panda Prince Jerry, Bamboo's Delicious, Phantom of the Pies, Jerry Kinson, Jerry Beth, TSM Kirby, Sarita the Lolita, Serena Dash, Staples, aka Jerry Yeet, Stephanie Goodner, Synaptic Boomstick, Brilliant Tomago, Tapioca Boogaloo, Tato Fan, Teddy the Police, 10-Ton Monster, that guy with the marble, I think his name is Jerry. The One True Fusky, Treeberg, ooh, been promoted, now Oni-chan, Mr. Jerry, Slayer of Tomthra, Will Mags, yet another different Jerry, true, Kira, Sleepy Sumo, welcome to the fold, you're a wizard, Jerry, yes, y'all. Red Wind, Goose says honk, Nog Viper, Saints Blessing, John Indoors, a normal Jerry, mostly normal, maybe, perhaps. Feel that. Hunter of Jerry's, devourer of all things tasty, it is Tom, because Tom and Jerry never get along. We got Admiral T. Tank, is that Tom? Oh no. Amara, Atomic Jerryzilla, breaker of the Tom Army. There's a war going on in the Patreon. I can't handle this. AZ, Banished Knight, Barbushka's Irradiated Jam, Broken Spine, Horseradish. The original different Jerry, Cake Jerry, California Jerry Girl, yeah, Canadian Lynx, Canada, Carrot Jerry, good for your eyes, that's true. Chia, CD's nuts. That joke never gets old either. Chris Meska, Cinnamon Buddy Dog, Corporal Admiral Lieutenant Furry Warrior, woo Jerry. Can't even talk anymore. Crib Titties, Cuban Jerry, Defon Jerry, Ever-changing Jerry and Tom versus Beard Apocalypse. That's true, we're all on the same side at the end of things. Ghost of Alpha, HMT Mayor, Holy Berry Jerry. Hydra Jerry, Irish Jerry, Jerry from State Farm, Jerry Beard Adventure, Cheeto Dust Crusaders, fan favorite, Jerry Oldo Rivera. Check out that mustache. Jerry Bean, Jerry Roxers, JRPG, that's Jerry Role-Playing Game, King Tom, Smasher of Jerry Zillas. Oh, Jesus. Kitsykin, KJW, Crafty Kitty Cat, Life of a Guardian, Little Ann Woods, maybe next time, Midnight Sun, Milkfed Gimp, Miss Duchess, Not Invisible Angel, I see you, One Leg Jerry. Organic Cam, Princess Rosalie Jerry, Ghosty, Ryga, Raptorite, she's my Jerry Pie, Cool Drink a Mountain Dew, what a big surprise, cringe so good, make a grown man cry, sweet Jerry Pie. I don't know if I'm gonna sing it every episode, but I do like it. Silurian King, Snary, that's Nom Jerry, Spoony the Rogue, Steampunk Ellie, that one green Jerry. Oh, again. It's a Jolly Green Giant reference. Anybody? No? Okay, I'm old. It's fine. The Necro Jerry Con, the original Jerry who is not, the most different Jerry who is maybe to Infinite Jerry and beyond. Unkale. Promise, swearsies, it's just a fact and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up. And by it, I mean another ReddX video. And I'd also like to thank my $1 patrons as well. You boys, delicious, doing the thing. I am forever grateful.
Thank you guys all so very much for the support on Patreon. Absolutely killing it. I am loving it. God dang. You guys are really making my dreams come true. If some other people can support on the Patreon, I mean, that's absolutely massive. But if you can't do it right now, don't sweat it too hard, friends. I just appreciate you coming on through, hanging out with me, and I hope that you'll come on back and hang out with me again tomorrow. Because, you know, that's a big part of living the dream as well. If nobody's watching, then I ain't making content. In order to do so, you need to keep yourself safe out there, wash your hands, but also take some time out and do something that you personally enjoy today. Maybe like, go watching some more ReddX videos. That was like a transformation. But I do always want you to remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, and you definitely deserve it. I shall see you in the next one. And until then, friends, bye-bye.